Hello everyone, this is Khalil Musa, and I'm here to help you to explore the amazing topic in your life. Just keep in your mind you can understand every single information. Just keep trying. Welcome to this video on prokaryote and eukaryote cells. Today we will explore the similarities and differences between these two types of cells as well as their main parts and functions. Now, before we delve deeper into the topic, let's test your knowledge. Can you identify the similarities between prokaryote and eukaryote cells? Do you know the main parts of a prokaryote cell? Keep these questions in mind as we move forward. This will not only help you understand the topic better, but also make you more engaged in the learning process. So get ready to explore the fascinating world of cells. Let's start with the similarities. Both prokaryote and eukaryote cells are types of cells that make up living organisms. They both have a cell membrane that acts as a protective barrier and controls the movement of substances in and out of the cell. Additionally, both types of cells contain genetic material, such as DNA, which carries the instructions for the cell's functions and characteristics. Voiceover. All right, folks, it's quiz time. Now that we've discussed the similarities and are about to delve into the differences between prokaryote and eukaryote cells, let's test your understanding. Here are two questions for you. 1. Can you tell me the main difference between prokaryote and eukaryote cells? 1. Can you name some membrane-bound organelles found in eukaryote cells? Hold your answers for now. We're going to revisit these questions after discussing the differences. So keep these questions in mind as we continue. Let's dive right back in. Now, let's move on to the differences. One major difference between prokaryote and eukaryote cells is the presence of a nucleus. Prokaryote cells do not have a nucleus, while eukaryote cells do. The nucleus is a membrane-bound organelle that houses the cell's DNA. In prokaryote cells, the DNA is found in the cytoplasm. Another difference is the complexity of the cells. Prokaryote cells are simpler in structure compared to eukaryote cells. Eukaryote cells are more complex and contain membrane-bound organelles, such as mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and Golgi apparatus. These organelles perform specific functions within the cell. Time for a quick check. Before we delve deeper into the structure of prokaryote cells, let's review what we've learned so far. We know that the main parts of a prokaryote cell include the cell membrane, cytoplasm, ribosomes, and genetic material. And we've learned that the cell membrane in prokaryote cells performs the vital function of protecting the cell and regulating the movement of substances. Now keep these questions in mind. What are the main parts of a prokaryote cell? What is the function of the cell membrane in prokaryote cells? Remember these questions as we delve deeper. This will help reinforce your understanding and make the information stick. Now let's discuss the main parts and functions of each type of cell. In prokaryote cells, the main parts include the cell membrane, cytoplasm, ribosomes, and genetic material. The cell membrane protects the cell and regulates the movement of substances. The cytoplasm is a gel-like substance that fills the cell and houses the genetic material and ribosomes. Ribosomes are responsible for protein synthesis. Alright, before we move on to the next type of cell, let's pause for a moment and test what you've learned so far. Can you recall the main parts of a prokaryote cell we just discussed? That's right, the cell membrane, cytoplasm, ribosomes, and genetic material. Now let's see if you can answer these two questions. 1. What are the main parts of a eukaryote cell? Remember, there are several key components to think about. 1. What is the function of the nucleus in eukaryote cells? Think about these questions as we wrap up the differences and similarities between prokaryote and eukaryote cells. Keep these questions in mind and let's see if you can answer them by the end of the video. Remember, learning is not about memorizing but understanding. So, let's move on to our next discussion on eukaryote cells. In eukaryote cells, the main parts include the cell membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm, and various organelles. The cell membrane and cytoplasm function similarly to those in prokaryote cells. The nucleus houses the DNA and controls the cell's activities. The organelles, such as mitochondria, are responsible for energy production, while the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus are involved in protein synthesis and transport. Alright, it's time for our final quiz. Let's see how much you have learned. The first question is, what are the similarities and differences between prokaryote and eukaryote cells? Remember, both have a cell membrane and genetic material, but they differ in the presence of a nucleus and the complexity of their structures. The second question is, why is understanding these differences important? Think about how these differences contribute to the diversity of life on Earth. Great job on completing the video! We hope you've learned a lot about the fascinating world of cells. Keep studying and stay curious. The more you learn, the more you'll understand the incredible complexity and diversity of life on our planet. In conclusion, prokaryote and eukaryote cells have similarities in terms of having a cell membrane and genetic material. However, they differ in the presence of a nucleus and the complexity of their structures. Understanding these differences in the main parts and functions of each type of cell is crucial in comprehending the diversity of life on Earth.